Hi, you're watching Your Future, Your Finances. We're talking again with Liz Skinner of Investment News and investmentnews.com regarding the financial planning industry. If you are a financial planner, we want to watch this segment to see the themes going on in our industry. If you're a consumer working with one, then perhaps there's some perspective you can have on that person you're working with. So welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Brian.
All right. When we went to break before, we were talking about a term called Brexit, which at this time of filming is a popular topic in the news. So for anybody that's watching, what is Brexit?
Well, Brexit was the vote that the people in the UK took in supporting a decision for the UK to leave the European Union. And the reason that it had such an impact on the U.S. markets, I believe, is, both with regards to trade with them, but also it was a surprise. Going to bed that night, most people thought that, in fact, the UK was going to vote to stay. And, in fact, the people voted to leave, and it was a great surprise, and the markets don't really like surprise, so that caused...
That's going to be a big change, I think, for the people of Britain, I would think, over time. We'll see how it plays out.
It will, and it's my understanding it will take years in order to remove themselves. And there have been some discussions about possibly taking a revote or possibly casting this differently. But it will have a large impact.
And you'll follow it and let us know how the...
We will be tracking it.
Okay, good. Another theme in the industry is the aging of planners. As an industry, it seems, at least you read it often, that they're aging not only of the clients but also of the planners themselves. So do you cover that? Do you come across that when you're writing stories?
I do. And in fact, the average age of the financial advisor is in the 60 range, which for a profession is quite old. And where that gets to be a problem is as these advisors retire and they want to get out of the business, there isn't a very large crop of younger advisors ready to take their place. So that's something that the industry is facing, as well as sometimes advisors aren't anticipating that they'll need to retire, and they're pretty much kind of just figure they'll retire in their boots, and they're staying in their positions. So, in fact, the SEC recently, just a week or two ago, came out with a new rule proposal that is going to require advisors to have written plans for succession. Yeah,
that was a story you wrote recently, that would be a requirement. So when they come out with a proposal, what does that mean? So is that the rule now, or that's just up for discussion for some period of time?
To a certain extent, it's up for discussion. There will be a comment period, I believe, of a couple months where they will accept comments from all different parties. A lot of advisors, I'm sure, will write in, as well as probably some clients, and talk about how the rule will really impact their business. There could be some type of a technicality written in the rule that the SEC maybe wasn't aware of. But they've made it clear over the past year in comments and speeches that this is something they are going to demand advisors have. And really, it's kind of a responsible way of doing business. Advisors can die just like anyone else, and a sudden death of your advisor, especially if you're working alone, really can leave a client with nobody to turn to. And that's really what the SEC is trying to make sure we avoid. It's an investor protection kind of rule.
And that's another one of the stories is sometimes the plan for that advisor is to merge or sell, right? So there's what's called M&A activity within advisory firms. What's going on there?
Well, what we're seeing in the first half of 2016 with regards to M&A is advisory firms in the $1 billion to $5 billion range, that's assets under management, are kind of a hot ticket right now. And that is really what the banks and consolidators and other buyers, that's the area of the size range that they're really looking to get into, because the advice industry is becoming increasingly competitive. All these rules that we've talked about, they have compliance costs for advisors. So advisors need to find ways of becoming more competitive, and one way of doing that is by gaining scale.
Okay. With the time we have left, there's another story you wrote. It was about something called an ABLE account, which is now something an advisor can offer or at least further discuss with clients. What's an ABLE account?
The ABLE account is something that is an account that's really designed for families who have a disabled child. And anybody who has been classified or diagnosed as disabled before they're age 26 can qualify for one of these accounts, and all the money that's put into the accounts grows tax-free. It's very similar to a 529 college savings plan. The idea is sort of the same, to allow this money to grow and be used to help with the needs that this disabled student will have through their life.
Okay. Lots of different good stories. We like following you on the website, investmentnews.com. And then how about are you on Twitter? Do you have a Twitter handle?
I am on Twitter at SkinnerLiz.
SkinnerLiz. Okay, great. Thanks for watching. We appreciate your watching the show. You're watching Your Future, Your Finances. I'm your host, Brian Kuhn. We've been talking with Liz Skinner. Have a great day.